praise the Holy One of Israel. Let me get back to my channel. All right, let me put right here. Hi, Condra.
Hello.
All right, let's go. Perfect. That's good. All right, what do you guys see on the screen?
Morning.
Okay, good. Morning, morning, morning. Great. All right, great, wonderful. All right, how do you say it?
Beaucaire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Beauclair. Okay. So this is going to be a little interesting. I want to share with you about this letter, this kof right here. Okay. That kof is a Q sound. Okay. That's a Q sound. That's a B sound. That's a Q. And then this is a R. Okay. So, R. Okay. So if it was bow, if I wrote it, it would be bow, right? That little dot right there is an O. And then I got Q. And then I got an E, which would be the ER right here, EH, and then R. So it would be, a lot of us were told is bow care, like a K sound, but it's really bow quare. So it's bow quare. Okay. Bow quare. Okay. So it's really bow quare. And we have to get used to that. We have to get out of that K sound right there. Sometimes this will make a K sound. Okay. Example, they got a word called Zadik. It wouldn't be Zadwik. It wouldn't be Zadwik. Okay, it'd be Zadik. Okay, Zadik. Okay, so sometimes it will have a K sound, but often it's a Q sound. Okay, in the beginning of a word, that's what's the Hebrew word for jealous is aquana. Okay, it'd be a or kara. That means to proclaim, to call. That was one of our words, I believe, the kara. Okay. So quara, quara. Okay. So you got to be, you'll hear it on the front, qua, and you'll hear it in the middle, or at the end, it might be the K sound. So just to keep that in mind, it's just a pronunciation. But I know what you mean by you say Beaucaire. It's really Beaucaire. Beaucaire. Okay. It's a quick, it's not a long qua. It's Beaucaire. Okay. But Beaucaire is the morning. That's a certain time of the day where you actually literally see the sun. Okay. That's what we're seeing. That's why it's called Beaucaire, the morning. When you think about it, when they say, how do you say good morning?
Boker Tov.
Yes. Okay. Why is it called Beaucaire Tov? Why do you think it's called Tov? Somebody tell me. Why is it?
Tov is,
Huh? Go ahead.
Tov is good.
Tov is good. Tov is functional. Okay. So let me ask you a question. When we say good morning, good morning, good morning to each other, right? And then sometimes people don't say good morning. The question I have is when Yah said that the morning and the evening, or the evening and the morning, were the first day, were Akkad. So, and he said everything that he made at that time was Tov, it was good. So no matter what the day is or what the morning may bring, it's always going to be good. And the reason why it's good is because you and I were able to see it. We're able to see the morning. We're able to see the sun. We're able to see things. Yahweh takes the ability of, if he takes the sun away, then it's no longer functional. Okay. It won't be functional then. It won't be good. It won't be because that's what tov is. It won't be functional. Okay. You won't be able to do your work. You won't be able to see things. Okay. Clearly. So that's what that means. It's one of your words. Okay. And so where's it come from? Well, the action of it has to do with the plow. Okay. So now remember, we're talking about agriculture. And the actual concrete is cattle. Okay. They actually call a ox or a cattle a baquar. And this for our word is bo quer. So they're connected. Okay. So this is bo quer, and this is baquar. Baquar is a cattle. So what happens is the breaking open of the ground with a plow pulled by an oxen, correct? So that's where the plowing, the action is, and the cattle is the one who's doing the action, okay? So when we look at this, when we talk about the morning, when we talk about boquer, what it is Yah's giving us the idea of breaking open. The morning is a breaking open, so the light is coming forth, it's bursting open, okay? Instead of us breaking open the ground, Yahweh is opening up our eyes to see things as if he was opening up the ground for plowing, okay? And so that's where that concept comes from, bo quer. Makes perfect sense, right? When we start looking at, because we're using our senses. So it says Elohim, quara, okay? Quara, what did he do? Quara what? Somebody tell me the next word. Quara what? How do you say the in Hebrew?
Ah.
Yes. So Elohim, I'm just gonna put the Hebrew words up here. Quara, ha, using the letters. Ha what? Ha or, okay. And let me just, I'm getting confused. Like, and I'm like, okay, do I write English or do I write Hebrew? And he called the or what? What's the name of this? What's the name of this next thing? What's that? There you go. A yod, and a wa, and a mem. Okay. And then what letter do we use for and? Like a tent peg.
Yo.
A wa.
Wow.
A wa. Because that looks like a tent peg. I wonder why I'm getting some feedback. All right. And then we have what? The, which is ha. Ha what? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me what that is.
Crochet.
Koshek. Thank you. The he here is yo, right? So he, and then kara. Okay. So since the yod is on it, it would be yikra. See, now it went yikra. Okay. He called the yikra. What did he call the darkness? What name did he give to the night? Which is one of your friend Lila. I'm gonna write that in English. Okay. So he gave us Lila. He said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna call Koshek Lila. And so there was, and to something that was a what? And to exist is what? Haya.
Hiya.
Haya what? What do you call the evening?
Erev.
Thank you. It's a rev. Okay. It's beautiful. You guys are on it. It feels good to know, when you have your student and you're teaching and you guys are getting it and enjoying it and learning. That's beautiful, right? So now we got a rev. You don't always have to know how to spell it and all that at the time. That's going to come to us. We're just learning, okay? And it's a process. So that's a rev, which is a ayin, a resh, and a bet. Let me ask you a question. Since I put this a rev right here, it's a rev, it sounds like a V sound, but it's a letter. Do I put a dot inside that or do I leave it without a dot? Do I put a dot like this or do I leave it without a dot? Take a guess. A rev without a dot, because when it has a dot in it, it gives you the what? It gives you the B sound. B. Okay. Without a dot, it gives you the V sound. V. So this is erev. Okay. So I don't need a dot. Okay. And that's good. Okay. And so what's the next? The word and. It's a tit pig. So what letter do we use there?
Up.
A wa. Okay, that's called a wa. So when I want to just say and, I just say what?
Wa.
There you go. When I want to say the, what I say?
Ha.
Okay. Okay. And there was, so there existed again. And what do we use for there exists?
Haya.
Aya. Okay. Okay. And was what? What word do we say? What's the word? How do you say morning?
Okware.
Oquare. Thank you. Anytime you answer, just make sure you put it on, after you answer, just put it on mute so I don't get any feedback because it is being recorded. And so that's what we've learned so far. Okay. And just take a guess for one. How would you say one?
Ecod.
Echad. Yes. Echad. That's an aleph, a ka, and then kad. So then it would be a dalet. You got to sound it out. A cod. Okay, right here. And then, of course, you know what day is. What's day? Spell it out for me. What letter?
You have the yod.
Yes, it's the yod would represent the letter Y. What's the next one?
You have the, is it the word, the resh?
The wa,
Wa.
because the wa could be used as and, or it could be used as a vowel. If I put a dot over it, it's an O sound. If I put a dot on the side of it, it's a U sound. If I don't put anything on the side of it, it's a W sound. Okay. So the dot is over top. It's a vowel. So what would it be so far? A Y and a O. How do you say that?
Yo.
Yo. Okay. I'm going to take the dot and I'm going to take it off the top and I'll put it on the side here. What does it say now?
Ya.
If it's on the side, it's going to give us a U sound. So it'd be like ooh,
Ooh. You.
you. That's what we would say. Okay. It'd be you. Okay. So a yod, and then we're going to put a wa, and it has a dot on it. So that's yo so far. What's the next letter I need?
Mem.
A mem. That's the final mem. Okay. So the mem could look like this, or it could look like the final, like a box. So they have two forms. One form looks like this. That's in the middle of a word, at the beginning of a word. But when it's on the end of a word, you have what they would call the final mem, which looks like that. It's like a box. Okay. So Elohim. 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 Elohim what? Elohim, kara, ha, or, yom, wa, ha, koshek, yikra, laila, haya, erev, wa, kaya, haya, oboker, akad, yom. You see, you're going to learn how to read. I swear to you, you're going to be like, oh, you not only learn how to read, but now you can read this and understand it. And you just say the words. Don't worry about the grammar right now. Okay. The grammar will come to us. Right now, we just want to learn what the roots are. So that's verse number 5. And you understand what this is. You understand what called is. You know what this means. It means he called out to it with a lamed. Okay. I mean, he called to it. Yikara, kara. You need to kara, to make a proclamation. He proclaimed it. And when he proclaimed it, he said that the or was yom. I was sitting out today and I was looking at the sun. And I said, boy, if you didn't see the sun, you wouldn't see nothing that Yah was made. So why would you celebrate the Shabbat when the Shabbat is, Yah says, after everything he made, he sat back and looked at everything he made. When did he do that? Did he do that at the evening? Did he do that when the sun was down? Did he look at anything he made for 12 hours in the dark? Answer.
No.
So when would you look at everything that you worked on during the week? When you gonna look at it at night?
The day.
You gonna look at it in the daytime so you can see it. Okay. So here's a proper way that we say it. Now, I want somebody to go ahead and say it. Give it a shot. You know what that is? What's that? Just make the sound. Wah.
Wayikra,
Wayikra. Wayikra what?
Elohim,
Uh-huh.
Laor, Yom,
Yes. Laor Yom. Uh-huh.
Velakoshek,
Check. Uh-huh.
Velakoshek, Kara,
Uh-huh.
Laila,
Lila, yes.
Weyi,
Okay, so let me help you with that one. This one here, you would say together.
Waye,
That'd be why. Why he?
Wahi,
Why he? Why he?
Erev,
Why he?
Rei, Erev,
Yes. Next.
Wayi, excuse me, Sulika, Wa'i, Boker, Yom,
But see,
Echad.
there's no dot right here, right? So that right, sometimes you're gonna see that. So this is really what you would call voquare, okay? Because it doesn't have a dot. But you and I both know what it is. It's just because it's in a grammatical way, they take away this dot, and I don't want to get into that. I just want to let you know that this really means morning. So wahi, not why he. It's not why he. The pronunciation is why he, like in.
I have problems with the with those
we
words.
all do. Yeah, we all do. And so voquare what?
Yom Echad.
Good. Okay. And this right here, you guys, in the scrolls, when it's written in Hebrew, this is something to say that's called a pethach. And a pethach, what they call a pethach, they identify it's called a putuka, but the letter itself is a pay, pay. And pay represents the mouth. Okay. So it means
it's called a what? A kikfa? A pikwa? What is it called?
It's called a putuka.
A putukwa.
A putukwa. Okay. And what it means is to open. It means your mouth. Okay. So what it means is that the Creator has said from verses 1 to 5, he's given us what he wanted us to know. Okay. And then he says, okay, now that I've done with this, I want you to stop. Right. And I'm about to open up another teaching to you now. Now I'm about to tell you something totally different. I'm about to explain something totally different to you. So when you see this letter pay at the end of a just hanging out by itself, they use it to let you know that that's a space that's in the scrolls that prevents us from mixing different teachings. So what happens a lot of times is people will tell you something, or you're reading something and they just keep reading and reading and reading. And what they're doing is they're conflating two different teachings. Okay. So for example, if I'm talking about automotive care and I say, you know what, today, you guys, we're going to learn about brakes. Okay. And so section number 1, I'll put this right here and I'll say, okay, so section number 1 on my brakes that I want to talk about today is going to be, and it's really like this. I said, I want to tell you about brakes. And so the subject is what? Brakes. But there's all different types of parts of brakes. So I'll take a section. I'll say, okay, for the first section, what I want to talk about is the brake pads. And then I'll talk about the pads. Then I say, okay, here's another aspect of it. And I'll use a stuma right there. That means I closed off this part of it. And I said, now it's time for us to talk about something else about brakes. Well, what I want to talk about the brakes, I want to talk about the brake dust. Okay, about that. And then I'll tell you everything about brake dust. Then here's another stuma. Stuma means to stop and to, close. That's closed now. So we're not talking about that. We're still talking about the brakes total, but I'm giving you different aspects of the brakes. Okay. And then last but least, we talked about the pads. Now I'm going to tell you about the calipers. Okay. all right, or the dis or something, okay? And then after I'm done with everything, and I give you the teaching on that, we'll continue. And then finally, I'll go like this. I will put this letter, hopefully this pen will work. I'll put this letter at the end. And I'll say, okay, we're done. We're done talking about breaks. Now I'm going to open another discussion. So that's what that letter means, is to open up another topic. So when you read the Hebrew Scrolls, it's telling you, look, what I just said, meditate on that. Don't try to include what was in the first one with the second one. Okay. So day number 1, day Akkad. Akkad is the first day, and it was the type, it was the prototype. Listen to me carefully. When the Creator made the first day, it was the first sample of everything else that was to come. Meaning, I don't have to repeat making a day. That's the reason why he didn't call it Rishon. Rishon means first. He didn't call it the Yom Rishon. He said Yom Akkad. First is an ordinal number, right? Like number 1, and then we got 2, and then 3, and then going down the order, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Every other day that Yah made, he uses a ordinal number. Okay. He doesn't use a cardinal number like boom, 1. And then 1 means just 1. If I wanted to say the second one, then I would say Shani, third one, Shalishi, 4th, Revi'i, 5th, Kamishi, 6th, Shavi'i, Sishi, 7th, Shavi'i, 8th, Shemona, 9th, I think it's Tashi or Tishi. Okay. 10, Esra, right? So I would be able to do that. But he didn't say it like that. Yah said it was Akkad. So the day that he made, the first that he made, is the prototype of all what every other day would consist of. It's the format. Okay. So he didn't say, well, I'm going to make the first day, and then now the second day is going to be a completely different day. What he did was he said, I'm going to continue until and when the sun comes around the next time, or when the evening comes around the next time in the morning, that will be the second day again. So what I'll do is I'm going to do that work at that time. Remember? Because he says Arev, which is evening, which is when twilight, when you see the sun goes down, and existed Voker, the morning. Yom Akkad, not Yom Rishon, Yom Akkad. Akkad, okay, forgot the CH here. Yom Akkad, okay? So Yom Akkad means that's it. That's the prototype. And then ever since I made that day, every other day that comes is just a repetition of what I've already made. Now I'm going to add some features to it. He's amazing. Okay. So that's our next word. Echad. Okay. Echad. Okay. If I wanted to change this word, just put a yod in front of it. It's called Yechad. Okay. And Yechad, if Echad means 1, and if I say Yechad, the Yechad means to be unified. So what happens is we'll use one word like this word Akkad, and Yah will add letters onto the front and to the end. Okay. That because this is a root. It's a root. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the Sheresh. We're talking about the root. So what Yah does is he gives us all these roots in Genesis. So every time you'll see this word over and over again. And you'll be like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. That has an aleph in it, that has a ket in it, and a dalet. So that's Akkad. So when you recognize, you'll be like, hey, wait a minute, I know what that is. The only difference is this. It has a yod in front of it now. And then you'll find out what it means. You'll be like, oh, the yod means hand, agriculturally. Grammatically, it means he. See? And so when you talk about the hand and he, okay, you're talking about there being one. That means unifying, because that's what the hand is used for. The hand is used to grab hold and keep something together, to unify. Once you put your hand something, you become unified with it. That's what I was telling my kids when they're growing up. They go to a store, don't touch it. Don't you touch that. Don't you touch it, because if you touch it, it belongs to you. So he tells you don't put your hand on it. Okay. Because once you do it, remember certain things Yah says for us not to touch? It has to do with your hand. So look at this. The action of the word is to unite. And the concrete of it is a unit. Okay. And abstractly, it means unity. Okay. So the letter ket, which is a picture of a wall, which is the CH, here you go, I'll write it here in Hebrew, ket. That's right there. Okay. It represents a wall. Okay. And the dalet, which is the D, okay, represents a door. And when you combine these, it means wall door, which doesn't make sense for us. Wall door? Wall door? If you look at your wall right now, what does it have in it? To go from one place to the next, what do you need?
Door.
You need a door to go between two places, right? So what a wall does, a wall separates the inside from the outside, like your wall in the house, the exterior versus interior. This, your bedroom blocks it off and separates it from any other place in the house. And it's only through the door one can actually enter or exit, thus uniting the inside with that which is on the outside. Once the door is open, now you have become exposed to, you're uniting both of those things together. Okay. And it's a space where you can walk in now. So what Yah's literally saying is when he made the first day, and he didn't call it Rishon because it's not, it probably wasn't his first day. He called it Akkad, meaning it's unity. It's united. It's a unit. So I'm going to take this unit that I've made, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, okay, time. Oh, praise be to the Holy One of Israel. I'm going to open up time. I'm going to open up that which is in the heavens and that which is in the earth. I'm going to open it up through this time space called a day. I'm going to unify, okay, and bring everything together. So what happens is every day we go through these, it's like we're going through a door every day. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom. Shalom Aleichem. You know, every time we go through a day, a different day, it's like you're going through, or go through a day, it's like you're going through time. You're going from one time to the next. And Yah opens that door for us to go. And therefore, we get united with it. So that's what ties us into this time, is days. Okay. It's a beautiful thing if you really think about it. Can you guys still hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions before we move on? Okay. So Akkad has to do, this is not Rishon. Rishon is a ordinal number, the order, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. It's not like that. This is Akkad, meaning this is it. Okay. So Yah has made one day. And every time after that, he duplicates what he made from the first day. Okay. And he just adds to it. So Elohim, which is the power of all powers, did something. What did he do? What did he do? Somebody tell me. Tell me Hebrew. Tell me the Hebrew word for called. Because that's what we're doing. We're still in verse number 5.
Korah.
Kara, yeah, he called her what?
The or.
Yeah.
The or.
Ha'or. Yeah, Ha'or what? And what did he call it?
Yum.
Yeah. He says, so Elohim Yikra or Kara, the Ha'or Yom. And how do you say and?
Wah.
Wah. Because I want you guys to remember that the wah is seen and understood by what? Understood by a tent peg. And that when you see that tent peg, you'd be like, oh, I know what that is. That's a wah. That right there is a wah. Okay. And why and? Why is the tent peg used for and?
To hold it down.
It holds it down. So Yah was, so if you can notice what Yah is using the and to hold everything together, all his words together with the tent peg. Okay? So let me ask you a question. If Yah was to take away that word wah from the Hebrew language or from his words, what would happen to everything?
No unity.
There'd be no unity and everything will go back into what?
Chaos.
Chaos. Okay. So the wa is used over 50,000 times in the Hebrew scriptures. Okay, over 50,000 times. It's very significant, and it doesn't get enough attention, right? People don't pay close attention to it. So again, and so the wa, the hakoshek, yikra, okay, he called Lila, his, and so which is female, and then he says, and the wahi, okay, the wahi, orev, and the wahi of voquer, ekad. Okay, that's what it is. Here it is again.
Why ye is there was?
Yeah, so wahi in its grammar, the wahi is saying, okay, when you deal with the grammar, okay, you don't see the haya right here. So you're like, man, where's haya? Because that's what it is. The root is haya. So where's the haya at? I don't see haya. Well, because in the Hebrew grammar, you actually change letters. So if I add a letter to it, like if I want to say he, this right here means he, okay, or it, he or it, depending on the context, he or it existed. A rev is a thing. Okay, it's an it. Okay, and wahi, voker. Okay, and it existed too. But the only reason why it existed is because he, kara, Yahweh called. Yahweh is the one, Elohim. And the yod is he, kara. And then the he here is Elohim. And he what did he do? He proclaimed to, with the shepherd staff, to the light. And light means to organize and to bring order to the what? To the day. So when Yah spoke to it, he gave order to this day, to Yom. Okay, therefore, that's the reason why when you look at the day and you see the sun, okay, you should know the sun is the sign that tells you that we're in this time period. We're in the time period of La'or. La'or is a time of order and organization. You don't go and organize stuff at nighttime because you can't see anything. You do all your organization during the day. You do all your work during the day. You organize during the day. Yah says after all your work on 6 days of all your organizing and putting things together for those 6 yom, okay, he said on the Shavi'i, I need you to rest your what? I need you to rest your body, but more than anything, I need you to rest your nefesh, which is your soul. That's the reason why I gave you the Shabbat. It's for you to rest your soul from all your work. You're using your body to do the work, but it's your soul that's the one with all the trouble. Your body just feels the pain of it, but they work together. You can't tell me that you can have one without the other. You can't tell me that I'm looking at you totally different. No, I care about the body. That's why I told you I gave you a diet. The diet, so if the soul affects the body affects the soul. When you transgress against Yah's laws, you're using your body. Well, who's the one who wanted to do it? It was your nefesh that wanted to do it. And all you did was use your body to make it happen. Therefore, Yah will punish the body in order to get to the soul. That's what Yah does. You see? Because that's what it's used for. The body, oh, what happened? The body is used for communication between these two areas, okay? Next one of my favorites. What do you see?
The sky.
You see the sky. You see it's really pretty, huh? Yeah, it's the
Yes.
sky, okay? So these are the clouds. That's part of the sky. But the part up in here that you see, that's water, okay? But Yah calls it something, okay? What we can't see is called Ra.
He,
Yeah,
Kia.
Raquia, okay? Ra Quia, okay? Raquia, okay? Some people say Rakia. I used to say that until I understand that this kof right here is a Q sound. It's Raquia, okay? Raquia, okay? So the Ra is from the letter right here, this resh, and this ah right here is ah from long, Ra, right here. So when I say Ra, that's what I'm saying. So that's number one. Number two, Qui. I'm going to say that because this is the vowel right here. This is the dot which represents this yod right here. Qui, qui, qui. Ra, qui. What? This is the ayin, and the ayin is last, but it has a little vowel underneath this, another ah sound. So I just say ra quia, ra quia, ra quia. That's how you read Hebrew. You read Hebrew from right to left, but you got to read down like this. Ra, go back up. Que, go back down. Ah, ra quia. And you're going from like this, and you're going this way. And the reason why that's happening is because your thinking needs to turn this way, but Yah is giving you sound waves. So what's going on in your brain is you're having to do this in your brain in order to be able to sound this out. Once you learn how to say this, you will never have to worry about these symbols anymore. You get rid of these, and then you'll see a resh, a quaf, and a yod, and an I. You go, oh, that's raquia. Okay, Yaquia is translated as sky. Okay, there is no word sky in the Hebrew language. There isn't. The sky is recognized by this word called raquia. The sky, I'm about to blow your mind. Okay, the sky is not, listen to me, is not the heavens. What do we call the heavens? What do y'all say the heavens is named? Somebody tell me.
Shamia.
Shamayim. Okay. So the Sha, Ma, Yim. Sha means two, Mayim means water. This means two because it comes from your two teeth, or yeah, your teeth, right? The two teeth, okay, that you got. That's what a shin represents, two teeth, okay? I was about to repeat tooth, but it's teeth. Mayim is waters, okay? Because Mayim is waters, okay? So the two waters, well, there's a water up in the sky, and there's a waters down below on the earth, okay, which is the seas and the rivers. So where is the Shamayim, the water? The water is abiding in the sky, but Yah's name for sky is not sky. Yah's name for the sky is called Raquia. Okay, so all the waters that you see in the blueness of what you see here is in the Raquia. Okay, and he's about to tell us what the Raquia is. The Raquia is, let's see, praise the Holy One. The Raquia is what they would call an action of hammering. Okay, and the concrete meaning of a sheet. Okay, it's a sheet of what? Generally, when you use a hammer and you're hammering out a sheet, the sheet is made out of metal. Okay, and it's a pounding of metal such as gold with a hammer to flatten it out for a metal sheet. You know, like when you got it, when they had to pound out the breastplate on Aaron's I think I don't know. It's not called, it's called a koshin. Yeah, it's called a koshin, not koshek, a koshin, right? So on his priestly koshin breastplate, there is a metal that had to be beaten out with a hammer in order to make it flat and to make it smooth. And you need an extreme amount of skill. Matter of fact, you need the wisdom of Yahweh in order to do this. But the idea of our word raquia, okay, has to do with hammering out metal. Okay, so Yah calls the skies raquia. So Yah's letting us know how he made the skies. The skies are used as a container, okay, a dome. So, and this is part of his work. Elohim said, what's our word for said? Since remember, everything is just going. I'll put it up here. What?
Amar.
Amar. Thank you. So Amar in English, A-M-A-R. Okay, just for now. But in Hebrew, an Aleph, a Mem, and a Resh. Okay. Amar, Elohim, Amar, okay, probably Wayomer, or said, Amar, what he said, let there be. What does let there be? That means to exist. So what word do we use for
Haya.
exist? Haya. So from our reading so far that we've been doing, we found that that word can be either wahi, right? Right? Or wahaya. We'll see it when it comes to be a dome. So your word that I want to tell you is let's name her. Let's this is one of your new friends. Like you have Lila, she's part of your group. You have to make Raquia. I'll put it in her color so we won't forget who she is. I name them after like their people, so I won't forget them. Raquia. Raquia is she's a dome. Just think about a person who has, you used to make fun of people, say they have a big head. Make like she has domage. That's how you go remember. Just got to do some association, make some fun out of it. So it could come to you. It's not like I really believe this, but I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but Raquia, it's easy for me to remember. Dome, okay? In the middle of the water, okay? Let there be a dome. Let there be a Raquia in the middle of the Shamayim. Okay, and let it divide, okay, the Mayim from Mayim. Okay, so when the earth was, the first thing he created was light, and he made a separation between these times, between light and darkness. Koshek and what's our friend's name for light? What's his name?
Yom.
That's
Or.
who's
Or.
Yeah, Or. Yes, yeah, that's him. Yeah, remember Or? So y'all brought Or and said, "Oh, Or, I'm going to call you. I don't want to call you Or no more. What I'm going to call you is Yom." So you're right about that, Jared. So he's saying, "Okay, well, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a nickname." It's like him giving Or a nickname. You know what? I'm going to call you Yom. That's what I'm going to call you. Okay. So when you're talking about Yom, you really talking about who? You talking about Or. When I say coach, if I say Lila, who am I really talking about?
Night.
Yeah.
Night.
But who's Night? What's the real name of Night?
Koshek.
Koshek. You see? So when I'm talking about this dome, I'm talking about Raquia. Okay. So Raquia is the dome that Yah says, I'm gonna hammer that out. And I'm gonna use Raquia in the middle of the water. This is what I'm going to use to separate and divide the water from the water. I've divided light from darkness because one's functional and good, the other one is no functional. It's raw, it's darkness, it's miserable, there's chaos. So now what I'm doing is I'm gonna build a dome and I'm gonna separate the waters from the waters. And I'm going to use Raquia to do it. Okay. So Raquia is a divider. Who divided who did y'all use to divide Koshek from Or? Who did he use? What's the name of that individual? It happens twice. What?
It is.
Arev. But remember, Arev is the twin, remember? Because there's two Arevs. There's one that goes before the morning and one before the night. They're a twin. You guys see that? So they're called Avarim. Okay. Avarim. There are two of them. They're twins, like 2 hands, 2 feet. Avarim is a dual plural. So you can remember that. Okay. So I say why, you say what? What does it say? What does that mean? What does why mean? And because it's a 10 peg. Okay. And I say why, that yod right there is why. And then you see this little dot right here? It just means make a double. And we'll go over that later. It's grammar. So that means he. And he, Amar. What does Amar mean?
Said.
So, and he what? And he said. And the he here is who? Who's the he?
God, Elohim.
Elohim is the he. You see? And he. Who's the he? Elohim. Okay. And he is a third person masculine singular. See, I keep wanting to go grammar. I'll forget that. I'm going to get you confused. And so, and then the yod that was here and it existed Okay. What's her name? What's our new friend? Dome. What your friend?
Raquia.
Yeah, Raquia. Yeah, her name is Raquia. Let's say it, Raquia. Hey, Raquia. Raquia. That's your buddy. You got to hang out with her. Don't forget about her. I know her head is big. Don't forget about her. Raquia. Okay. Or just say she lives in a dome. Whatever. It doesn't have to. She has a big head. Just she lives in a dome. Just that's easier. Okay, without me making fun of anybody. Okay. So, and then this here, of course, is a word that we haven't had part of our root words, but Wayomer Elohim Yahi. Yahi Raquia. Okay. What did he say? In the midst, Edebethok Hamayim. In the waters. So I'm going to go between the waters, and it existed a mavdil between Mayim for Mayim. Okay. Water for water. We'll get more into that, but I want you to focus just on this today. Raquia. And Raquia means what? Where does she live?
In the dome.
She's a dome, so that's what she means. Because your name is your character. Okay? So Raquia has to do with her character, a dome. And Yah called the dome, we're going to get there, the sky. That's what they translated in English. Check this out. But here's our next word. The first letter is a tav. Give you the name of it. The sound of it is a T sound. Somebody tell me this is a wa right here, but it has the dot over it. So what does that sound? It's a vowel. It's a what?
It's a O.
It's a O sound. Okay, so anytime you got a dot over a wa, it's a O. So far we got a T and a O. So how do you say that?
Toe.
Toe. We usually would say two because of this English language, but it's really toe. This last letter right here is a final because it's on the end of the word, and it's called a cough. Okay, a final cough. Like when you cough, what do you do when you cough? What do you do when you cough? Yeah, but what do you use to cover your cough?
Your hand, cover your
Your
mouth.
hand. What part of your hand? Palm of your hand. So when you want to remember the letter cough, just remember putting your palm over your hand and coughing your hand, because that's what you use. You use your cough, because the cough in Hebrew means palm. Palm of what? The palm of the hand. Okay, and that's how you can remember it. You understand? So that's you got to make some associations. So now that we got the toe, and then we got the K on it. Okay. Or yeah, toke. Okay, toke. That's how you say it, toke. Okay. Toke. And that means to be in the middle or in the midst. Okay. So when you see this picture right here, I brought this picture up because I want to show you something. Okay. In the sky. Okay, this all this looks like the sky, doesn't it? From here, top to the bottom, right? Right? You see? But do you know that Yah has a dome inside of the sky that you and I, it's transparent, that we can't see. Unless you come up, this one guy is telling me how to get outside in the middle of the morning to see it. You can see it when the sun comes up, like when it's just when there's a real like maybe like right when the light hits it, at like a 4 o'clock in the morning or something. He said you're able to see it. He saw it. He's like, you're able to see it at a certain time in the morning, right? Bright early morning. You'll be able to see it. You'll see this dome over the sky. You'll see it. So there is a dome there. There is a rock. A what? What did we say? What's her name?
Raquia.
Raquia. Okay.
Raquia.
Raquia. Okay. There's a Raquia. The Raquia is a dome, and she's in the sky. She's what keeps the one part of the waters above, and the other one is down here on the Adamah. And see, on the Adamah, which is the earth, there's another water. You see, there's waters here on her and underneath her. Okay, so the space that's between the Raquia and the Adaman, which is the land, okay, in between these two places right here, okay, is defined, listen to me carefully, is defined as Raquia. Okay, Raquia is holding, I got it a little backwards here. Raquia is holding, we'll put it up here for you, right, so you can really see what I'm saying. Give us an understanding. All right, so there's waters up here, like, you know how they say atmospheric rivers and stuff like that? There's oceans and oceans and oceans of water in the sky, okay? But there's Raquia that's holding the waters up, so the waters don't come down on us, okay? And then she is called here as Raquia, okay? Raquia, and then, which is all this atmosphere. She's all this to protect us, right? And then underneath that, you got the land, which is here on the ground, okay? And then on the land, you have waters and streams, but underneath the land, you got waters as well. So when Yahweh destroyed the earth, okay, he said he was going to open up what? What did he do? Somebody tell me what Yahweh did. Yahweh opened up the earth. Okay, he opened the earth up, burst it open. He also opened up the windows of heaven. He busted open the Raquia. So all the waters came up from the bottom, all of them, and all of them came from top. And therefore, because both waters came in from both places, it was able to destroy everything in between. It wasn't just that it rained for 40 days. It said he opened up the deep and he opened up the windows of the heavens. So what he did was he opened up the Raquia and let all the water fall down. And he opened up the earth and let all the water come up. Therefore, he can ensure the destruction of everything that's on the face of the earth, except for those that he saved and he rescued. Okay. So it's pretty interesting. So he beat out the Raquia and he put the Raquia in the midst, because not only is the Raquia as a dome, but it's used for the midst. It's in the middle. Okay. So it's a divider. Here it is. So the letters of this root has to do with, these are the parents, like I told you. That's the parent. The Tav is the first parent. The second one is the Kaf. Okay. Right. And those letters are represented by the Tav, and the other one is the final Kaf. Okay. And he said the action of it is to bend. Bend what? To put in the middle. Okay. The letter Tav is a representation of two crossed sticks, like that. Okay. Representing a mark. The letter Kaf represents what? A bent palm. It's the palm being bent. Like in your hand, you could do it with your own hand right now. Okay. So when you bend your palm, it looks like a dome. You feel me? Not all the way, just kind of a little bit to cup. Okay. So combine these, it means the mark of the palm. The lines and the marks in the center of the palm are formed by bending of the palm, a bending of the middle, in the middle, the center of something. Okay. So Yah bent the Raquia, a dome. That's why it's called a dome. Okay. Not just a regular platform, but an actual dome, because Yah bent it. Okay. He bends it. And he beat it out of metal. Okay. So Elohim said, let there be a what? He said, let there be a Raquia in the what? The Tok of the Mayim. And let it divide the Mayim from the Mayim. Okay. So that word Tok means middle. Wayomer Elohim Wahi Raquia. Raquia. And then he says, Ba-thok. Okay, which is the same as Tok. It just took that little dot that's usually in here. Okay, you take the dot out, it's a TH sound. You leave the dot in it, it's a hard T sound. You take the dot out of the B, it's a V sound. You put the dot in, it's a B sound. Okay, So when you see this dot inside that tav, you're going to call it a hard T sound. Okay. And he says what? The batok ha. What's ha mean? What does ha mean? What does this mean?
Duh.
The
And what's mayim?
water.
Water. So, and he said, why Yomer, Yomer is he said, Elohim, Yahi, Raquia, let her, this dome, Batok, Ba means in, okay, because this is from the tent, because that's what it is. It means to go in, for grammatically, okay, go in the middle of the Hamayim, the water. And Wahi, Mavdil, okay, Bain, Mayim, Lamayim, okay. So we see water again. We're going to get to these other words. So if you know what I'm being systematic with introducing these words in each one of the verses. So we started off with Wayomer or Omar, right? We had that in our first part of our studies. We learned about that. We learned about Elohim. We learned that this means to exist. And now we learned about Raquia, okay? So this is just building upon all that we know. So I'm introducing you to new words. So this new word here is Bethok, okay? Bathok, in, Bathok. And what does thok mean? Middle,
In the middle.
yeah,
Of mist.
okay? Okay, so let it be in the middle of the what? Of the Hamayim, which is the water,
The water.
okay? Because remember, we understand what water is, right? And it's two of them. All right. So here it is. Let's make this our final word of the day, asa. Okay. What do you see? What you see in this picture?
Like clay, like she's making.
Yeah. So somebody's making something. Okay. So
Mm,
I want you to understand when the creator of the heavens and the earth, when he did these things, now he's introducing a new word to us, which is called asa. He uses this word a lot. This word asa, he uses this word a lot, all not only through the Genesis account, but all through the scriptures. And he tells us to asa. And asa means made or do, okay, or make. Okay. So it's an action, right? So you're going to, you know, he tells us to do the commandments, you know, to make them, to do them, okay, to work them, okay. So the hands are used to make things. So Yah's letting us know that what I'm going to tell you, when I ask you to do something, in the first place that it starts is in your mind. That's where a lot of things are made. That's when everything is made. It's made in the mind first. Then it goes from the mind and then it goes to your hands, or it goes to your feet, or it comes out of your mouth, or you'll begin to hear with your ears, or if your mouth and you're going to taste it. Okay. So when things are made, they were only made for all five senses. Everything that Yah's ever made is for us to have an encounter with all five of our senses. That's why he's given us all these faculties. Okay. So you can see things with your eyes, and you see that's one of your senses. And often we get lost in that because we get a little religious, and the people that have taught us, our enemies, have told us like, hey, you know what, don't focus on that, be more spiritual. You know, the body's carnal. You know, they use the word carnal a lot. You know, hey, you're carnal. Well, if you look up carnal and just look it up on Google or something, what you're going to find is it has to do with a lot of sexual nature. That's what it has to do with. They're talking about your sexual nature. So everything that they're dealing with, they're trying to make you feel what you would call unclean and nasty, and there's nothing good about your carnal. So if you're carnally minded, they're like you're a beast. All you think about is being like a beast. Well, that's not true. Yah says that the sexual conduct can happen, but it's in how you do it and who you do it with. You know, you don't do it with animals, you do it with your mate, or you do it with your wife. You don't mess around with anybody else's mate, right? So, and then he says, I'm going to increase your numbers. Well, how do you think you do that? You do it through your body. So the body has those five senses, and everything that has been made in every part of us has been for the sake of the body and the soul, but also for us to understand Yahweh through those senses. We don't get to know him through just being what you call spiritual. He gave us these other things to let us know who he is. He gave us hands, so we'll know what it means to make something. Okay. So the action, of course, is to do, like I said, is to do something. And to do what? Work. The making or the doing of anything. Because that's what Yah has made the hands for, and the mind, and everything. So whenever you work with your hands, it could be what you got to see it. You know, when you look at it like he did, you got to, okay, when you talk about making some food, you're doing it so you can feed yourself and you can taste it for the benefit of your mouth. Use your hands to put the food in your mouth. You see, you use your hands to take care of yourself, to bathe yourself, to hold yourself up, to go gardening, and to do work with those things, to build all these things. And so when we move away from wanting to do what he asks us to do, because you can't do anything when you're not doing the work. You need your hands, you need your eyes, your ears, your five senses. Christianity says you don't have to do anything. All you got to do is what?
Believe.
So they say, it's not what you see, it's what you believe. Somebody could be sit there, right, to slap the taste out your mouth, and you'd be like, turn the other cheek. They can rape you and hang you, and you forgive them. You see, they can completely oppress you. Did Yah tell Israel to believe while they're in captivity? Did he tell them to believe? Or did he tell them to know and to understand that I did this to you because you did this? You see? Okay. When he tells you to set your slaves free, do you supposed to do that spiritually or physically? When he tells us not to eat the pork, is that spiritual or is that physical? When he says, I'm going to bring you to your land, what is it? Somebody tell me. So Elohim or what? How do you say that word for made? Bring it to you again. How do you say it? How you say it?
Asa.
Asa. Let's all say it together. Asa.
Asa.
Asa. Look at your hand. Say Asa. I'm gonna Asa something. Okay.
Asa.
Asa. Yeah, I'm gonna do some work, making or doing something. So Elohim made. Asa. Elohim Asa what? The ha what? What's the dome? What the rakia? Rakia.
Mirakia.
Batok what? The hamayim, right? And I know this word is takat, the rakia from the mayim. They made all the ha rakia and the wahi. Okay, so let's see how close I was. Well, ya'asa, well, ya'as. Okay, well, ya'as Elohim the hadrakia. Okay, and a wayavdel, he divided what? Between means bane. I think we did this word too. We did do bane between. The hamayim. Asher mitakath. Okay, this is a whole nother word that we're going to get later. And then you see your other word right here, the ladrakuya. Okay, and you already know what uvain is, between. And then what? The hamayim. You know what mayim is. You know what ha is. Asher. Okay, it means to tie together. Mayal, you haven't learned this word, don't worry about it. And then ladrakuya. And the wahi, Cain, meaning it was good. You learn what Cain is. It's thus it was so. It's not hard. It's just a matter of you going and learning what it means. So Asher. What does Asher mean? Okay. Asher is which or who or what or that. That's when this word is called a relative pronoun. Okay. Forget about what I just said. All I want you to remember is a rope. That's all I want you to do. Remember a rope. And what do you do with a rope? A rope does something. It attaches two objects together. So anytime you see this word is used over probably like 70,000 times, it means that it attaches two objects together. So this word links the action of the sentence to the one doing the action. So that's a grammatical thing they're telling us, which, who, that. It's letting you know who's doing the action. So if we look at that word right quick and we say, Waya as Elohim eth the ha-raquia, the waya davel bain hamayim asher. So it's letting you know who's the one who did the what? The work. So you know who's doing it. So that's why that word asher right there, and we'll go back over it later, is used for who and which is talking about the action that the individual has done, which in this case it was the he, which is Elohim. He did what? He did the ha-raquia, and he divided the ha-raquia, the water from that which is tied to the mitakoth, which is underneath, and then the water between the waters, and that which is upon the earth. Okay, and it was so. All right, so we're going to stop right here. I think I went a little too far. We're going to start right here, and we'll come back to this, and we'll dig a little bit deep in this a little bit later, because this is pretty. I got to spend a little bit more time on a share. Okay, because a share is a lot more to our share, and I don't want to just rush it, because I want to give you more of a not only a break understanding, but I also want to give you a grammatical understanding, and I want you to tell you that it has to do with righteousness. It has to do with happiness. Okay, so it's not just a grammatical deal like, oh, it's who, which, where, that. No, those are grammatical words. Okay, it's for Hebraic, it's a rope. Okay, but what does it really mean? What is Yah trying to get us to understand? And so this word is opens the door to our understanding about what Yah's intention is for his people. Okay, to link us to our relative pronoun, to the action, the one who's doing the action. So you guys learned a lot today. You guys did really, really well. I'm so proud of you. If you just stay with me, you're going to learn more and more and more. What it is that the goal is to learn over 300 plus root words, because once you learn those root words in the Genesis or the Better Sheath account, when we learn these words, you guys, you'll be able to recognize them all through the Torah, the Tanakh, the Psalms, and everything. They're used all over the place, thousands of times. And so when you start reading the Torah, you'll be like, wait a minute, I know what that word is. And then you'll start putting the pieces together. Okay. So all it is just one puzzle. But once you know what the puzzle looks like and you know what it means, you just take that off the table and you look for another word. So you're building your vocabulary, you're building your understanding, you're understanding that the letters mean things. You understand that it's very significant. We're understanding how Yah has made the creation. We understand how we work within it. If we find out how he made everything, he says, my people don't know me because they don't know how I work. That was a clue. Like, you guys don't even know me. You don't even know what I've done. You know, if you knew the magnitude of my power and my majesty and my glory, you would then be able to fall upon your face and keep your face to the ground when you talk to me. You would understand now what humility truly means, because Yah's not getting the credit and the glory, as you read in the Psalms, that's due to his name. He's not receiving it. And that's because people don't fear him, and they don't fear him because they don't know him. Because what's the beginning of fear?
Doubt?
No, the beginning of fear is wisdom. Is okay.
Oh, wisdom. Oh, okay. Like,
Yeah, wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Right. The beginning of fear is the beginning of wisdom is to fear the Holy One of
fear.
Israel.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In order to be a wise person and to be able to know and have knowledge and understanding, one must fear Yah. Okay, but they don't know because they don't know how he works. So he's introducing us to everything that he's done in the power. So let me ask you a question before I let you go. Who do you know that can put a dome in the sky? Raquia. Who do you know that can divide Raquia, the Hamayim, from the Hamayim? Who do you know?
The creator.
Yeah, but I'm saying outside of the creator, is there anybody that
Oh,
you
no one.
who has the authority and the power and like the all powerful one to be able to say to the Ha'or, hey, you know, what Yikra, la Yom. You and I can't change names.
Nobody.
He can.
No man. No
You see?
man can do it.
No one can do it. So who we're dealing with, okay, and what we're dealing with is of great power and great significance. So with that, I say shalom to you. I hope you enjoyed your lesson today. I learned a little bit more extra. I always learn.
Oh, that Lord.
Praise the Holy One. Anyone have any questions before I let you go?
Oh, I have a question. Can you explain again to me with the dot in the top?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically what we have here, there's a lot of letters that either have a dot or don't have a dot. So what she's asking is, let me see if this thing is working. Oh, okay, I can't, my finger's not working. All right, so a tav, I'm using my finger on my pad because my pen is not working. A tav looks like this, okay? All right, and there's two ways that it can be sounded. If it looks like this, it's called the TH sound, like in the word the, or the end of a word bath, okay? When it has a dot in it, okay? I ain't gonna tell you what the name of the dot is. It's irregard, it doesn't matter. Just when you see the dot, know that
Okay.
that dot means I'm gonna make it a hard sound now. Yeah, it's a dagesh, but there's two different types of dageshes. There's a laney and a forte. I don't want to get into that. So when you see this dot means make a hard T sound, okay? Same thing that goes for the letter P or pay, okay? Without the dot, it's a PH sound, like in phone. Okay. The moment that I put a dot in here, is going to go from a sound to a P sound, as in, okay. And then what they call these things is called the Baghed Kafet letters, okay. Baghed, it's an acronym. Kafat, okay.
The Beit Gimel and the Gimel
Yeah,
and
it's
Dalet.
the Bet, the Gimel, the Dalet,
And
the
the
Kaf,
Dalet.
Pei, and the Tav. Okay,
Mhm.
so these letters, these 6 letters, okay, and I'll write it up here for you. My pen will stop acting crazy. It's a good question. Come on, please behave. All right. Now we'll say that for another time. It's just too much to go through. I don't want to rush it. So basically, the dots in it, you make a hard sound. Okay. The dots missing, it's a TH. Okay. If it's a hard, it's a dot in the B, it's a B. The moment the dot's out, it's a V, softens the sound. If it's a P or a pay with a dot, it's so you take that dot out, it's a so the dot just hardens the sound. You understand? And these are on certain letters, because you might see with a dot in it, you'd be like, that's not a Baghed Kafet letter. We'll go into it later. So for the Tav, that's what it is. Okay. We'll go into that a little bit later because that takes a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it takes a lot of time. But anyway, you guys did a wonderful job. I'm so happy. All right. And continuing your studies. All right. And continue to come to class. And I guarantee you, you're going to learn more. You're going to understand the Torah better. And it's going to bring some light to you. And then you'll be able to differentiate. And then you're going to start making divisions. You're going to stop saying that light's darkness and darkness is light. You're going to say, no, that's Yom. That's Or. I know with Vayikra, he called Or, Ha'or, Yom. That's what he said. And we're not changing that. Oh, I see the Shamayim. It's in the sky. No, that's not the sky. The Shamayim is the water. What he put Rakia underneath it to divide the Shamayim, the water from the waters. You see? Yah calls these, he's dividing and calling and renaming things. And because he wants it to function in the way that he said. Okay. Hallelujah. Praise be to the Holy One. Yahweh, we thank you, praise you, give you glory. We ask that you continue to further our wisdom, our knowledge, and our understanding in getting to know you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise be to the Holy One and the King of Israel.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I'll see you guys.
Toda Rabah.
Toda Rabah. Oh, look at you. Who just said that? Who just said Toda Rabah? Who said that?
Sister Pam.
There you go. You know, see when okay, here's another thing. When we talk to each other and people say these kind of things, when you say Toda Rabah, something like lit up in me, like, whoa, because that's our language. It means many, many thanks, right? That means abundantly, I thank you. That means more thank you. And guess what? What we want to do is we want to learn how to speak this and then go talk to Yah baby talk. What you want to use is this word. When you talk to him, you call him Elohim. You don't call him God. You don't call him Lord. You don't call him any of those names. You call him by his title, Elohim. You say Yahweh Elohim. And if you want to make it personal, my Elohim, you say Elohai. That means
Elohai.
Elohai.
Eloheinu.
Yeah, and if it's Eloheinu, he's our
Elohai.
Eloheka, he's your Eloheka, your Elohim. So you call him, I call him Elohai, right? He's my, you know? So he's my, or Eli, my El. See? Yahweh, Ahafti, I love you. You know, have mercy, Kusa, you know, Kusa Yahweh, Amika, have mercy on your people. You start praying in fragments and write it down and be like, this, what I want you to do is I want you to write down your prayer that you want to say to him in a few words. And if you want to say, thank you, I thank you for the heavens and the earth, you're going to learn that because now you can add into your prayer. You'll say, Toda Rabah what? Shamayim. Toda Rabah Raquia. Toda Rabah Mayim. Toda Rabah Aretz. Toda Rabah Boquer. Toda Rabah the Rev. Toda Rabah. For everything you've been learning, thank him for it. Thank him for Ra'ed, to see. Thank him. Thank him for your mouth and your eyes and thank him. And then once you start thanking him for the things that he made, then he's going to give you more understanding. And then you go get more stuff. You go say, all you got to say is Toda Rabah for everything you learn. Toda Rabah for Ha'or. Toda Rabah Ha'or. Yahweh. Toda Rabah Ha'or. He's going to say, oh yeah? Yeah. Toda Rabah Yahweh Ha'or. And Uva Koshet Yahweh. He'd be like, you talking to me. You're making me feel good because I know what you're talking about. He doesn't say day, he says Yom. Toda Rabah HaShabbat. Thank you for this day, HaShabbat, the Yom HaShabbat. Yom Hazeh. Yom Hazeh means this day. So once you get your Hebrew down, you be like talking to Yah. When I pray and I sing, I don't pray and sing in English. I pray in Hebrew because I want to be Shema. Yahweh at a Shemoah the Avdika Dawid. What I just said, Yahweh, hear the prayer of your servant David. And that will, and girl, you gonna start crying. You'll be like, oh Yahweh, bro, hey. Oh, you're gonna say, Toda Rabah Yahweh. You're gonna cry out to him because he's gonna be like, wow. He's the love of Yah's gonna come upon you. And you put your face all the way down to the ground. You don't pray. We can pray stand up. It's not nothing against it. You know, Eleazar prayed on his camel and so forth and so on. But absolute total surrender, put your forehead to the ground. Put your forehead on the ground and you prostrate yourself and you put your head all the way to the ground and say, I can't go any further. My body, there's no room for me to be lifted up in any kind of way. I'm putting everything down before you right now. And you just talk to him. And you keep your words very short because he is our Elohim and he's a king. And we come to him and sometimes you don't know what to say. Just lay there and just meditate. And he'll talk to you. He'll tell you, go like, well, how's he going to talk to you? Well, in your mind, you'll start having thoughts that you've never had before. You'll think about his greatness, but one thing you want to do when you go to him, you want to give him praise. Open up your prayer with praise. And I know sometimes it's hard, but you got to open up with praise because that's one thing that Yahweh loves. He loves the praises of his people. So if you praise him, he'll listen to you. You praise him, he will listen to you. Okay. Hallelujah. Wah.
Hallelujah.
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 Praise the Holy One of Israel. All right, you guys. I'll see you.